show folks that he's still fighting for them. He's looking forward to getting back out on the campaign trail. And so in a very safe way, I drove by and said hi. And again, he did that in front of the camera, so the media was able to see it. And importantly, when I was talking with the president just about 15, 20 minutes ago, he said another thing that I found very telling. They said, I know what it's like to go through this. We're going to beat this as a country. When I get out of here, we're going to be talking a lot about COVID and how we go and beat it as a country. And so I think there's a level of understanding as someone who has gone through it themselves, where he can relate with people, understanding people have gone through this COVID virus, this China virus that has hit us. And this is the most important thing facing the country. And President Trump is ready to lead on it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And I'm glad to hear that he does appear to be feeling much better. To that point about being honest with the American people about this virus, hundreds of thousands of Americans have battled and they've died from the virus, Jason. They have had to do so alone. Families and friends aren't allowed in the hospital. They're not allowed to go on joyrides. Many, can't even be treated in a hospital until they are critically ill. So I just wonder, how does a stunt like this that not only puts a spotlight on the inequities in President's cavalier attitude to this virus, but endangers the lives of others, help his campaign?
Well, hold on. I want to push back a little bit there, Anna. I don't think this was a stunt at all. I think this was President Trump showing people that he's very gracious for the hospitality they've shown him, for the support that he has, for the hundreds of people outside Walter Reed Medical Center there.
But he's also
ready
done that.
To get back
he's also
into
done that in videos that he's put out on Twitter without having to endanger lives of Secret Service members by being in a car that's hermetically sealed in order to do this drive-by.
But we know that Secret Service always takes great care of their agents. They make sure there's always extra layer of precaution. Obviously,
we also know Secret Service agents have contracted the virus in the course of their duty.
But we also know that Secret Service takes great care of their agents. They always take extra precaution. I'm not part of White House operations or in the White House medical unit, so the exact logistics I can't speak to, but I know the Secret Service takes this very seriously. And I think it was great that President Trump was able to get out there and show he's ready to take this virus head on. You can't just stay locked up, whether it be in the attic or in the basement forever. We need to go out there and lead. We need to go and defeat this virus, show people around it. Now, to your earlier comment, look, one life lost because of the China virus is too many. And I think President Trump has been very clear in articulating that over and over, that we have to go and destroy this COVID-19 that we got, that our country has been attacked by. And that's a very clear focus from the president. You see it on everything, what he's talking about on the campaign trail. You see it in his speeches from the White House. You see it in our advertising. This is his clear number one focus.
He's been downplaying the virus. And let's just be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. He has not been speaking about this virus in a serious manner. And yes, it's true. We've heard him on tape talk about how he intentionally has downplayed this virus. He hasn't worn a mask every time. He's been holding these rallies without social distancing, with most of the people in the crowds not wearing masks either, which is an extremely high-risk environment, and he knows it.
Yeah, I'm going to fundamentally disagree with you on this. What the president has made very clear is that we can't stay locked up. We can't stay hidden in the basement forever. We have to take this head on. As the leader of the free world, he can't run away from this. You can't just stay locked up in the White House for 6 months.
I'm going to stop you there because you're right. He could still go out there, but even as he goes out there, Jason, he is not taking the simple precautions that could save lives, and he's encouraging his supporters to come to these rallies, to his campaign rallies. Let me finish, please.
Anna, you're misstating it.
We have video. Let me show you the video from his campaign rallies, guys. Let's play it. Let's show the crowds that are packed into his rallies who don't have masks on. The campaign obviously has the ability to mandate masks and social distancing, and that hasn't been done, Jason. Will your rallies, will your events? Jason, hold on just a second. Let me ask the question, and then
You're asking
I will stop.
multiple questions on it before I can respond to any of them.
I haven't asked the full question. I'm making the point and showing the video with the Trump campaign supporters at these rallies without masks, without social distancing, in an environment in which you've set up for these rallies. Will you make changes now? Because the president has experienced this. He knows, the reality of the virus, as you discussed. Will there be changes to his campaign events in which you will mandate masks and mandate social distancing?
So let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that we take everybody's temperature as they're coming into events. We're going to give everybody a mask. We're going
Which is
to give
what you've been
everybody
doing.
hand sanitizer.
Which is
We're
what you've
going
been
to
doing.
encourage people to wear their mask. And you know what? That's been a very safe and very responsible thing to do. And that's what we've done from the beginning of this. We're taking this very seriously. And so we've always
Jason.
been leading from the
Jason.
front on that. And we're
Why
going
do
to
you?
continue to.
How
Anna.
is this very safe and very responsible? We just know from that Rose Garden event, for example, where people weren't wearing masks, where people weren't social distancing, there are multiple people who've since
So, yeah,
contracted the
so let me
coronavirus.
talk about
and
that
it's
for
the
a
very
moment,
same
because-
environment that we are seeing at
Yeah,
your rallies, except for there are even more people who are packed in.
So everybody-
and who
everybody
have
who's
even
around the
fewer
president-
resources to make sure
On everybody,
many of them
everybody
have
who's
been
around the
tested.
president. Okay, everybody who's around the president is tested. People are kept a distance away from the president. Also, there's masks that are distributed, hand sanitizer that's passed out. There's a lot of things that we don't know about this virus. So, for example, one reporter
But we
I
do
know
know
that contracted
that it is
COVID. Anna, you have to.
transmitted
Anna, you
by
got
hair,
to
and
let me.
people who wear
Anna,
masks.
Anna, can I just please just let me
Yes.
finish this answer, because I'm trying
Okay,
to be
I'll
responsive
let you finish.
to you.
Forgive me.
And okay, so one reporter who contracted coronavirus was wearing a mask the entire time and still contracted coronavirus. And so the important thing here is there are a lot of things we don't know about COVID. But what we do have to do is stay vigilant in developing these therapies and these vaccines to make sure that we defeat it. We can't stay locked up the rest of our lives. We're going to be smart. We're going to be responsible about this, but we're not going to hide in fear. President Trump wants to get life back to normal for people, and that's a critical point. On the other side with Joe Biden, I think he wants to stay locked up forever. President Trump is going to lead us through this, and he's going to defeat it.
Jason, let's be clear. The president is in the hospital right now because he contracted the virus, and he has put himself at risk by conducting the business the way he has and conducting some of these events. But let me just come back to you're part of his campaign. So let me just go back to a question that I asked you earlier. Excuse me.
You misstated, just real quick, you misstated something before. President Trump followed all of the protocols.
No, he didn't.
Everybody around him, everybody around who was tested, they kept distant, and still somehow he contracted it.
Okay,
My whole
that's
point
just
earlier
that's
is
just
that
not
there are
true
a lot
though,
of things
Jason.
we just don't know.
have the
But it
videos
is.
Not
in
true
which the
whatsoever.
president is at events where people aren't following the protocols, where people aren't social
Where
distancing,
everybody-
where people
where
aren't
everybody-
wearing masks,
everybody
who
has
aren't
been tested.
following the CDC guidelines or the coronavirus task force
None of them were tested.
guidance
None
as
of
to
them.
how
He's
best to
probably
stay
the most
safe
tested.
until we have a vaccine. Jason, let me ask
He's
you, because you
probably the
are
most
on the
tested
Trump
person on the
campaign, a few
planet.
questions. When you talk about
Oh,
testing,
crap.
we know testing is not prevention, but can you answer the question as to when the president's last negative test was?
Well, as I said earlier, I'm not part of the White House medical unit, so it'd be unfair for me to go and start
knows
trying
that?
to speculate or give answers to things that, quite frankly, I'm not in the loop on. That's not my responsibility as someone on the campaign. My job on the campaign is to help the president communicate his message to the American people, to voters we have coming up in 4 short weeks away, and that's exactly what I'm doing here, to tell you how
Jason-
the president is taking this seriously. And so,
But
Anna,
Jason,
you know,
you
as
just
a
said a
campaign
second
person,
ago, everybody around the president is tested. That the testing regimen is one of the reasons why it's
because
proof
I can
of
speak
him
to
taking it
because I can
seriously,
speak
but,
to from experience.
But now you're
So
saying
I'm
you
someone
don't
who
know
usually,
if he was when his last negative test was.
Anna, you're respectfully speaking, you're a little bit silly here. I'm not part of the White House medical unit. What I can speak to from experience, who's someone who's around the president some 4 or 5 days a week, that every time I'm around him, I'm tested usually about an hour in advance. Then there's usually about an hour cooling off period to make sure that the test is clear, everything is good. Then when I'm in the presence of the president, I'm usually somewhere in the 10, 12 feet away, never any closer than 6 to 8 feet, definitely. And so anyone who's ever in a room with the president has been tested, has been cleared. Now, what I can't speak to, again, I'm not part of the White House medical unit. I'm on the campaign team. So I can tell you from my experience of being around the president, the protocols that people go through. What I can't speak to are the White House medical unit. But again, as we go back to the whole reason why I wanted to join you is to tell you, since the president is in Walter Reed, he's in the hospital recovering from COVID, here's how he is feeling. Here's how we get back out there. Here's how the campaign this week will be out with Operation
I
Nova
have a
as we
few
launch
questions
the
that I
vice
still want to get
president and the
answers
family.
on.
That's what I can speak to.
And
because
you've
that's,
said
again,
that.
that's,
And you've said
we're
that
gonna-
multiple
we're gonna- and we're
times.
gonna-
You've gotten
we're
that
gonna
message
step up
out,
while the
Jason. Let me
president's-
ask a few more questions because I want to try to get some more information while I have you here, because you have been in contact and because you are part of this campaign, and you're anxious, obviously, to get back out there. And let's talk about the conduct that in any kinds of additional protocols you may put in place moving forward? Will
She's
the
at the Harrisburg
campaign
Airport right there,
mandate
Dad.
people
She's
to
here
wear
at the
masks
Harrisburg Airport
at events
on the right hand
for this
side.
president?
The campaign always has and always will hand out masks and make sure that people are told that they need to wear
Not to
them. And I
everybody.
did
It's a
hear
yes or no
directly from the
question, though.
president.
Are you
Anna,
going to mandate
Anna,
they wear the
Anna,
masks?
Anna, you have to let me finish. Just
Try
Tyson,
it's a
breaking
yes or
news
no
then.
question, Jason. Are you going to mandate they wear the
I'm
masks?
answering. We're going
Yes
to
or
tell
no?
people, just like we always have, that they need to wear the masks. We've always told
And it's
people
all
they need to
bull
wear the
crap from
masks.
here on.
And we're going to
And
continue
1,
to
2,
do that.
3
And that's
is
why
cut.
we've